Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and start it. Good morning. This is Juan Curiel, and I want to welcome you again to our fourth episode. I'm very grateful that some of you have been tuning in and just want to be informed with whatever it is that we're doing. And I believe that it's providing some very informative information that's going to kind of give you a little, or make you more aware of what the American Boxing Organization is doing and how we go about doing things. But before I continue, I would like for you guys to hit the like button and below and share and just subscribe. We would really like to build an audience so that we can continue and continue to provide you guys with all of those great videos. As we spoke last week, we briefly talked about the ranking system and why you should, why there's so many ranking systems and different types of organizations, how they go about and do things. But what I can tell you is that the way we do things is a little different. We get our information from various sites, one of them being other organizations. We go to the WBO, America's section, because we're on this side of the continent, so that's all we're focused on. And I'll look at who is who and who's been fighting, and then we do our research. We do an inquiry about who those guys are, how active they've been fighting. Then we'll go to the NBA, which is the National Boxing Association. Damon Gonzalez is a good friend and great colleague. He does a great job running that organization. And for those of you that don't know, the National Boxing Association is really one of the oldest organizations in the world. I'm not really quite sure what happened there, but I do know that Damon took over that company and he bought it from the other gentleman, and he's been doing a really good job. And the NBA, I have a lot of respect for them because they're a really good American company. They have a world title. It's the first of its kind. Actually, it was the original world title. They have the likes of Carmen Basilio, Gene Fullmer, Sugar Ray Robinson, Roberto Duran, Alfonso Lopez. Some really great world champions that have attained that that title and continue to just grow that brand. So I'll look at those rankings, and then I'll go to Global Boxing Network. They have a really nice, robust names of fighters. And then, like I said, we'll do our inquiry, and then Vince and Ernie will talk about it. We'll get some other guys in there and talk to them about who they are, where they're at, and then they're appropriately given that ranking. Very, very important within the ABO because, this way we have references that we can go to. We can kind of fact check, everything that is being done the right way. And that's how we do it. We don't go with other sites that, do things because, no. We do things based on organizations that do what they're supposed to do, their due diligence. And that's how we do it. Now, let's say, for example, we get a fighter and their manager or the promoter wants to do an ABO championship for a regional title. Okay, so we have the regional title, which is this one right here. It's the American regional title. It's a 6 to 8 round title, depending what state allows you to fight for 6 or 8 rounds. Then what happens is, if you defend your title, you move up in our rankings. So, if you don't see your name, if you win the title, you'll see it obviously as a champion. But if you don't defend the title, you're not going to get any points and you're not going to move forward. I mean, it's just not going to happen. You just don't win a championship and you sit on the championship and you just don't defend it. That makes no sense. So you fight for our title. We encourage guys, fight for the title, defend it as many times as you can. The more you defend it, the more you go, you get ranked in our continental rankings. And what that does is, if other organizations look at like what we do, then that's good. I usually submit results to those are other organizations, and I make them aware. Hey, this guy does. This guy's been fighting for this. This guy, he's been winning, and it's just better if you just defend. I encourage you win our championship. You defend it. If you defend it 4 times a year, 3 times a year, that's fine, as long as you defend it. And obviously, the quality of opponent is going to matter too. You're going to want to, obviously you're in the region. So that's, you got the whole United States. That's why it's the American Regional. Region 1 could encompass, like, let's just for an example, the Midwest. You got Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and all the, Michigan, surrounding St. Louis, surrounding, region, states. So it's a regional title. So we can have up to 4 champions in that region because there's 5 different regions. So it just makes sense. It makes you more marketable, number one. And, if you're already a champion and you're obtaining the those fights, wouldn't it just make sense to just continue to defend? I mean, that's just me. I think that is the best way. Now, we've had some fighters that have won the championship and have defended their titles, and look where they are today. We have fighters that will benefit from just defending. And my encouragement to all of you that are in the business is defend the title. So I hope I don't beat it with a dead horse. It's very important for you guys. It is if you want to move up in the ranks, and as you move along, improve the quality of opponents, because that's what's going to make you a better champion. You're already a champion. You're a regional champion. Then you go to the North American Championship or South American champion, right? Then you fight for the Americas title, which is a 8-10 round title, and then you fight for the Jaguar Championship, which is a 10 round title. And you do that, and you defend that title. It's just going to be a better move, in my opinion, for you, because you are, number one, you're being consistent. Number one. Number two, you're maintaining a certain level of integrity by defending what's yours. And you're allowing other organizations, like the top 5, to kind of just like see your growth, your progress. They look at the quality of opponents too. They look at who you've been fighting, because they want that. They want those guys. And all I can say is that if you continue to do that, it's just going to be an overall better shot for you. So that's how we do our rankings. And normally, if you defend our championship, so you defend it 3 times, you would get, let's say, for example, you defend it 3 or 4 times, then you become ranked number 5 in the in the ABO in our rankings. Now you're adding points. The more you defend, the more you move up in those rankings. Like, you can be number 1. We have some guys that have done that. Armando Frausto has been he's killing it. He that's why he's getting those good opportunities, because other guys are like, hey, we want to fight this guy. So, Armando Frausto, he's a featherweight, great fighter. He's a regional champion, and he can fight 6-8 rounds. He's had all his fights have been really very tough fights, and I'm going to tell you that Armando Frausto he's an underdog. He's supposed to be fighting, I believe, in a couple weeks or maybe this week. He's fighting for the WBC America's title or something like that, or silver or something. He's fighting for one of those things, and he's not defending our championship. I don't know, the promoter didn't want to do it or the other guy didn't want to do it. Regardless, he has been doing it. He has been defending the championship. This is a non-ABO championship, but he's getting that opportunity. And, he understands, that he's a B-side fighter. But you know what? At the end of the day, he's going to come back and he's going to really demonstrate what it's all about. We had another fighter, Todd Manuel, a welterweight North American champion. He won the championship, and then a month and a half later, he was asked to fight in Atlanta for the WBC silver belt. Now, a lot of the fans that saw that fight were like upset because it really could have gone to Todd. I mean, Todd really won that fight, and but hey, it is what it is. No problem. He knows, and he's going to come back and he's going to defend his belt. He knows, he understands that process. So now he's a North American title. So obviously it's a little higher title because it's an 8-round title. So what happens? The more he defends it, the more he moves up, so he can get that number 1 position. Because there are other fighters that are in there now, and I'll tell you who we have there in the welterweight division. We have Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos, he was our former champion. I think he just fought for a world title, so he's got the number 1 ranking. And then we got a guy by the name of Eude Bernardo and Jaron Enos. Both of these guys, they're young guys. Abel Ramos is ranked number 1. Eude Bernardo, he's ranked number 2. And we got Jaron Ennis. He's ranked number 3. The number 4 and number 5 spot, it's kind of tough. But Todd Manuel, since he'll be defending, so he's got to defend it 3 times in order for him to get that number 5. So that's open right now, and then it's the more he defends it, the more he moves up. That's just how it works. Now. We have other ABO champions that have been doing really well. We got, let me start here in picture above, Ron Guerrero. He just won our North American ABO championship, which is Ernie Brown heavyweight division. And we named it after Ernie Brown because, like I said, he was a heavyweight, and he's just been killing it. I mean, he was one of those fighters in the amateurs that he trained with Archie Moore, and he learned a lot. And as he got older, he's a National Hall of Famer, and he's given back to the industry. He's always helping fighters. He's always trying to be an advocate for the industry, and he's our ranking chairman. He does a great job with the organization, so that's why he's got the North American Heavyweight Championship, which is Ernie Brown. But Ron Guerrero, he trains with former world champion Oliver McCall out in Houston, Texas. He's an 8-round fighter. I know that he's going to be defending pretty soon. So obviously, in the heavyweight division, there's a lot of great talent out there. And let me just name a few. Right now we have we have Brandon Moore. He's 27. He's ranked number 1. We have Trevor Bryan. He's ranked number 3. And then we have Lenroy Thomas from Jamaica. He's ranked number 4. These are the guys, that have that good standing. In the cruiserweight division, we just had a champion that just fought, and he did a really great job. Deshaun Ross, great prospect. He won a very convincing good fight with a veteran, Carlos Lopez, I want to say his name was. But it was a very, very good fight. Deshaun controlled it with his jabs and movement, and he saw an opening. He took those opportunities to come back with those shots. And if he defends, which I hope he does, he will get he'll get moved up in the ranks. And mind you, I will be submitting those title defenses to all the organizations, to the NBA, to the WBO, to the IBF, to the WBC, to the IBO. I will be sending them, whether they take a look at it or don't. I'm going to be just sending it to them out of professional courtesy, because I want our champions to get noticed. I want them to fight for those bigger titles, because that's why you're in this industry. Us being the American title of the Americas, and we really advocate for our champions. We want to be that stepping stone to those bigger, prestigious titles. So that's what we want you. We want you guys to succeed like that. So in the cruiserweight division, we have ranked number 1, and that's because he just won the Americas title. Richard Rivera, he won the NBA Americas title. He didn't defend our title, but he was stripped. But because he fought for another one, he still remains that number 1. So we have a vacancy there in the Americas title. So if whoever wants to, take it, call me. I want to see your record. We want to see where you're at, and then we'll figure out what we can do. But that vacancy is open. So the number 1 guy is Richard Rivera. They call him Popeye. He's number 1. We got Alante Green. He's ranked number 2. Robert Sims. He's ranked number 3. Joseph Williams. He's ranked number 4. And we have Al Sands, ranked number 5. That's that cruiserweight division is exciting, because these guys are not, they're big guys, and they hit hard. I mean, there've been a lot of great world champions that came out of the cruiserweight division, like Evander Holyfield. There is another name that's emerging that we've been keeping an eye on. His name is Alan Melson out of Houston, Texas. He's reached out to us, met him. I saw him fight. He just won some title, a regional title. And I am impressed by him. And at the end of the day, I think it's good to keep that. Now that would if we get the Alan Melson to fight for one of the other regional cruiserweight championships, maybe him and Deshaun Ross can fight for a North American title. Obviously they're there, and that would be a really good. Ross lives in Louisville, Kentucky, and Alan Melson lives in Houston, Texas. So I believe that would be really good, and that would be a very good quality. Both records are pretty much, one of them's undefeated, and the other one has like a 8-3 record or something like that. But I know that they're both good athletes. So, we definitely give them an opportunity to fight for the North American title. So moving on, we have, we have in the lightweight division. Now, this division is Alfonso Lopez. He is the face of the ABO. All right, I'm just putting it out there. He not only defends his championship, not only has he defended his championship, and I don't even have to look at any notes. for Alfonso. Um, Alfonso is not only consistent with his promotional company, with his fights, but the caliber of opponents that he's been picking to fight have all been compliant within our ranking system, within within everything. He has defended the ABO light heavyweight Jaguar title 4 times. 4 times. Um, he has been just an unbelievable, and he is also the NBA world champion. Um, that to me is a huge achievement. He was also the NABO, which is the version of the WBO, uh, North American champion. So this is a high quality fighter. He just fought a very, very, not taking away from Zurdo Ramirez, but an undefeated young guy, world champion. He had height, distance, the power, the youth, just that valor, that and that conviction that when you fight, you just bring it. And Alfonso, I found later on that he had an injured shoulder, and Alfonso fought like that. No excuses. Fought, didn't say anything. I didn't find out until the last show that I went to. He didn't say anything, and the only reason why he said anything is because I noticed that he was like moving kind of slow. I say, hey, what happened to you? And then he told me, I'm like, and you fought like that? He goes, yeah, man. And you know what? Not once did he ever complain about anything. Alfonso Lopez, El Tigre, respects, man. You are a true champion. Just I can't say enough about this guy. Okay, so in the light, and he's Houston's son, great athlete. So moving on, we have in that division we have Charles Foster. He's ranked number 1 in the light heavyweight. We have Antonio Brown, we have Craig Baker, and we have Frankie Rivas. Now Frankie Rivas, he's got the 5 spot because he's from Mexico, and this guy has a very appealing record. Just an amazing record, and he called, and he's wanting to fight for an ABO championship, and I think we're going to grant him that because he was supposed to fight not too long ago, but I guess he got into a car, he got injured himself, so he had to pull out. But he's going to be fighting pretty soon, so he's got the number 5 spot. Moving on to super middleweight, in that division, in the super middleweight, that's 168 pounds. We have a lot of vacancies, so we're looking to fill that out. The number 1 ranked ABO contender is Anthony Sims from the United States. We also have Steven Nelson. We also have Ronald Ellis. We have Willie Monroe Jr. and Lionel Thompson's got the 5 spot. So you guys are amazing athletes, and we would love to hear from you. You can reach us in the description below. Hit the like button. Give me a call. Give Vince Hudson, our vice president, a call. Call Francisco Leal, our president. Let's make it happen. Those are those are really great names there. And in the moving on to the junior welterweight, we have the America's champion. The picture above. We have Anthony Laureano. He just moved. He was a fighter with Star Boxing with Joe DeGuardia, but he moved, and I know that he's going to be defending his title pretty soon. And great person. If he defends, he gets moved up in those rankings, ABO rankings, and this is who we have in those rankings. Well, actually, it's kind of like, so Anthony is the America's champion, and the South American champion at that weight class is Dennis Okoth from Washington. Now, let me tell you about Dennis Okoth. Dennis Okoth fought a superstar from Ireland in New York, and that was a huge upset. He's from Nigeria, and I'm going to tell you something. Dennis Okoth is an amazing athlete. You know, he just came, and he didn't come short. He just came. He came to fight, and really had a huge upset. And I won't forget that, because it was truly an amazing fight. So the way we have the ranking now, he hasn't defended, and if they, obviously none of these guys defend, and the year goes by, then they get stripped. But I have hopes that they are going to continue and they defend. So what we have, the number one ABO junior welterweight, we have Robert Easter, we have Juan Hernandez. We have Regis Purgai. He's from Houston. Purgais. I hope I pronounced that right, or forgive me if I don't. And Miguel Contreras, ranked number 4, and we have Arnold Barbosa Jr. He's ranked number 5. Those guys are great quality, contenders. And reach out to me. All my information is in the description box. Reach out to me, call me, and let's make it happen. We have in the lightweight division, we have Julio Sanchez. He just fought in El Tigre show. He fought Juan Vasquez Jr. And there's actually a rematch going on September 16th. So I'll be flying out there with my son and Leroy Murphy to oversee those fights out there, and we're excited because Julio, it's youth versus age. Julio is an experienced fighter, and I'm going to tell you that he's not going to take this fight lightly. He's been sending me videos of how he's been training. And that camp is no joke, man. So I'm going to tell you that there's going to be fireworks in Houston, Galveston, Texas. So if you haven't bought your tickets, reach out to El Tigre Promotions, because they're the promoters for this event. I know I saw a video of Julio taking this bag and he's just whipping it across the road, and he's just like, he's number one, he's mad, right? Because he really wanted to come back and win that fight, but he came short. And look, things happen. So I know that this fight come around is going to be very exciting, because both camps, they know what's at stake here. They absolutely know what's at stake. So they're both working really hard. And I can tell you, for the fight fans, if you're a fight fan, you don't want to miss it. We also had Eric Encina. He just won the North American Championship with Pepe Alcaraz in Mexico. That he just fought, like, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I'm going to tell you, Enrique El Diamante Encina he's wow, he is unbelievable, man. He's going to be one of those rising stars. So he's from Mexico, and I think he's a hometown person from Tamaulipas. He's got a lot to offer, and I'm really super excited. I'm very happy that he's crowned the North American champion. They fought 10 rounds, and I know that that fight, man, was just amazing. I mean, it was. I think the fight was at 12:30 in Mexico, and I mean, I stayed up, and I was really excited to see. It was worth the wait to see that one, and. In that division, we have Gabriel Robles. He's got the number 1 ranking, and then the number 2 ranking, we have Steven Ortiz. We have Andres Cortez, number 3. We have Henry Lundy. He's got the number 4, and the number 5 ranking goes to Richard Comey. Okay, these guys are in that lightweight division. Very active fighters. We looked at where they're at with the other organizations, and we kind of like their movement. So, I really encourage those that I've been mentioning to reach out to us and fight for the ABO. Also, in the featherweight division, we have a unique situation. We have Armando Frausto, and we have Martino Jules Jr., both at the featherweight. One of them is Region 4, and the other one is Region 2 champion. Now, let me tell you something. Whoever the promoter is or decides to put on that fight, Armando's fighting for the WBC Silverweight title at the end of this month, I believe. And Martino Jules is in talks for a WBA or a WBC championship, I think. They're both ABO champions. I'm going to tell you something. When those guys fight for the Intercontinental Jaguar Championship, and it's a 10-round fight, the boxing fans, that's a fight you don't want to miss. Those guys are unbelievable. Martino Jules is a southpaw, and Armando Frausto is an orthodox fighter. I believe at times he's also southpaw. And I'm going to tell you that those guys are, man, they're unbelievable. Armando fought somebody that was signed to Zurdo Ramirez. His name was Jose. And that was Armando's first draw. And man, I'll tell you, wow, that fight was the guy he fought from was from California, and he very, very well decorated fighter. He fought some big fights, and I'm going to tell you that's a very exciting division. And that's all we have for right now as far as champions. We did strip some fighters that have not been fighting. There are other guys that do want to fight in that division, and if you don't, you've had it for over a year, and sorry, those are the rules, and we have to stick to them, and that's that. So we always think about life after boxing, and that is very, very a very important statement. And let me tell you why. Because the ABO, if you become a member of the American Boxing Organization, the annual fee is $375 a year. You become a member, you pay that annually. You'll get a $25,000 term life policy. And for an additional cost, you can purchase dental and vision just for being an ABO member. So if you're given an opportunity to fight, for another title for a bigger organization and something happens to you, just know that your family won't have to scrap for, or have a GoFundMe or anything like that, because you'll be protected through the ABO. We have a certificate, and you'll be protected. So become an ABO member, have those benefits. Sometimes people don't talk about life after boxing, but we always talk about it because it is so important to plan for your future. How many stories have we heard? There's evidence of guys that have made millions of dollars and are now broke, have no benefits. Okay? Here we're trying. The benefits are there. They're there for you. They're open for, the members. If you're a coach, I encourage you to do it. If you're an active fighter, I encourage you to do it. And, for that membership, we're also going to give you an ABO support, a shirt, a real nice one. It's kind of like this. It has the ABO. It has the ABO logo, and it's a V-cut shirt. It's real nice. And that's for being a member. It's $375 a year, and you get those benefits. Okay, so reach out to us. The information is below, and that's a good way to kind of at least start. We also have other benefits for fighters, and again, send me that information, and then we'll tell you more about it. Listen, the American Boxing Organization is an organization that's pro fighters. You know, we want to be a supplement to, you know, whatever it is that you have, you know. And I believe that our brand is really good. If I tell you we're going to do something, we're going to do it. And if you have any questions, call the promoters. Call Joe DeGuardia. Call El Tigre. Call Mr. Kaufman. Call Mr. Pepe. Call any of those promoters that we've done business in the past. Call Mr. Troy Eskridge. Call him. You know, ask him. Don't go by what people say. Don't go by hearsay. Go to the source. Ask them, hey, do these guys do they deliver? Talk to the champions. Talk to our champions. They'll tell you. Okay? I mean, we have a very good record. Okay? Now some of those that probably got stripped are not going to be too happy, but that's not on me. You know, we've told people you have to defend that title, and we are going to be stripping people if they don't comply. You know, I'm compliant. Just comply. You know, you can defend it twice, 3 times. You benefit from it. So become a member. Be a part of this awesome American company. Remember, we are the American title of the Americas. We are the ABO. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk next week. God bless.